Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Fano fighters entered a strategic town around 24 hours ago. It happened in Gonder, North Gonder. Fano groups are now becoming active, it seems. Secondly, another journalist has fled Ethiopia. Who is he? What is he saying? Why did he leave the country? It's always a difficult decision to leave your homeland, but you know that people make up stories too. They want to seek asylum abroad, so sometimes they just make up stories to seek asylum abroad. Thirdly, a committee was formed earlier this month by Somalia to protect its sovereignty and territorial integrity. It seems that the committee is becoming controversial. One member of the committee a few hours ago leveled allegations against another member. The committee was formed in the backdrop of Ethiopia Somaliland MOU, which is worked on for a final agreement reported. Firstly, viewers, Fano groups, North Gonder Fano remained largely dormant in the last few months. It was accused of being in some secret alliance with Prosperity Party. Gondar city remained largely stable. But gradually we're seeing that North Gondar Fano is activating itself. And North Gondar Fano would be the most relevant Fano in case of any unrest in Western Zone, in Salamti, Humera, Volkait, Sag. And if you remember, last week there was a clash between North Gondar Fano and military in Sagade. People, some call it Sagade, others call it Sagade, others call it Tagade, I think. So, if any conflict erupts in Western Zone, North Gondar Fano would be the most relevant group and one of the key players. And recently we've seen that North Gondarfano groups have tried to unite themselves. Largely, they have come under two commands, you can say. Gondar command is still not fully united. North Gondar, South Gondarfano groups. There are still three groups, I would say, in these areas. Three large groups, under them several small units. Yesterday, Fano groups entered a key town situated to the north of Gonder city, Amba Giorgis, situated between Gonder and the Bath. There was fighting in and around Amba Giorgis for several hours, and reportedly, military retreated and Fano fighters managed to enter Amba Giorgis. It means that the Bath to Gonder road is cut off because the town is right on the main road. If a party is in control of the town, it means that the party can cut off travel the road from Gonda to the Bath and vice versa. Apte Volde, I think, is leading the Fano groups in these areas. And close by, I think Massafent is also operating. Gradually, we're seeing that North Gondar Fano groups are now carrying out attacks, reinforcing their presence to the north of Gondar. Because if they have to intervene in Sagade Volkait, they'll have to intervene from the north of Gondar. If they have their presence to the north of Gondar, along Gondar to Dansha, Gondar to the Bath roads, they can move from here into Sagade and Volkait, maybe towards Humera. Second, was another journalist has fled Ethiopia, Amhara journalist. His name is Samuel Assefa. He has confirmed that in an interview with an Amhara news outlet. Journalist said that he was arrested when he covered a story about demolition of houses in Shaggar city being built around Addis Ababa, where hundreds of houses have been demolished. Oromia regional government says it is building a modern city, and those which are illegal encroachments are being demolished. Samuel says that he was arrested, he was tortured. Later, he was released on bail, but security forces continued harassing him. That is why he decided to leave the country and he has fled the country. Where is he now? It's not clear. But he is out of Ethiopia now. Several journalists have fled Ethiopia. 2 days ago, on World Press Freedom Day, 18 foreign embassies in Addis Ababa issued a joint statement asking Ethiopian government to release journalists. Ethiopia slid 10 notches from 131 to 141 on global press freedom index released earlier this month. Are the journalists really facing restrictions on their freedom to work? Yes, they are facing restrictions. But at the same time, the journalists, most of them are not independent and unbiased. They work for the protection of the interests of particular groups. Whether they are part of organizations or working individually, most of the time they have their agenda. Their coverage of Ethiopian affairs is not neutral and unbiased. So, government obviously wants to silence those who criticize the government. These people are working on their agendas. So we will blame government more, keeping in view that government must respect people's rights to speak, right to protest, right to express themselves. At the same time, those who spread propaganda, they should also be careful. At least people should hold them accountable. People should ask questions. Some news outlets all day, some activists all day spread propaganda, spread lies, and no one just holds them accountable. Samuel Assefa has fled and he'll seek asylum. When these journalists flee Ethiopia, it's very easy for them to seek asylum abroad. Thirdly, viewers, Somalia earlier this month formed a committee to defend Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. 10-member committee was formed. Committee was formed to monitor and stop the implementation of Ethiopia's Somaliland MOU, which was signed in January. Progress is being made. Final draft is being prepared. Legal firms are being hired. Ethiopia has upgraded its ambassador to ambassador plenipotentiary in Somaliland. So maybe the two could sign an agreement which would give Ethiopia access to sea and establish a naval base in Somaliland. In return, Ethiopia might recognize Somaliland as a country. Somalia wants to stop that. It has recalled its ambassador to Ethiopia. It has expelled Ethiopian ambassador. It has ordered the closure of Ethiopian consulates in Garowe and Hargeisa, both not closed. Somalia formed a committee, 10-member committee, to defend the country's sovereignty, obviously to stop the MOU. Now, the committee so far has not been able to hold meetings, but the committee is becoming controversial now. One committee member last night leveled allegations against another committee member. The man who leveled these allegations is a former ambassador. His name is Id Bedil. Id Bedil, without naming the other person, said that the other person, member of the committee, was misusing committee budget and he was trying to control the committee. So, from day one, the committee becoming controversial. No meetings so far. This is the main problem for Somalia, that there are so many internal issues that these people cannot unite. And maybe that is why external players find it easy to intervene in Somalia. You saw that Mogadishu ordered the closure of Ethiopian consulates, but consulates still operating both in Somaliland and Puntland. Why? Because Puntland, Somaliland leaders are not on good terms with Mogadishu. So Somalia will have to create internal unity, whether it needs the unity to fight against Al Shabaab or to stop Ethiopia while an MOU, whatever it wants, for that it needs to create internal unity. Disputes between the federation and regional governments, disputes between tribes, disputes between different forces, several regional international players involved in Somalia, borders not controlled by Somalia's forces, foreign forces under bilateral arrangement deployed to Somalia. And Somalia wants UN mission to come to an end. It wants Afghan troops to leave too. What will happen after that in 2025?